When you think about procrastination, what do you think? You would probably think about sitting down to study, checking your phone, and then just do doom scrolling, right? Maybe you just watch a Netflix series or just watch some random YouTube videos instead of working, instead of studying, instead of doing your homework, right? We know that's the general consensus that appears in mind when you say procrastination, right? Doom scrolling instead of studying. But I'm gonna tell you that there is actually one form of procrastination that is the most dangerous, but also the most productive. See that see you see that procrastination is called productive procrastination. It's called that because you're procrastinating from the work you're doing. But this thing you're procrastinating with, this action that you're doing to procrastinate, is actually productive. And it can be said to be the aesthetification of optimization, the beautifying of optimizing for something. You ever see? Tell me if this has happened. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You have motivation to study, right? But your table is quite a mess. So you end up looking up at so you end up looking up so now you look up aesthetic work setups, aesthetic study setups, where they have amazing lighting, they have an amazing keyboard, a sound system, it uses a wood table, looks aesthetic, looks amazing, and they use it to study and they look productive, right? They have this they have these two monitors, one with Google Calendar, one with Spotify. But the extension makes it that it looks very beautiful and then they're working on something, maybe coding, typing on their main monitor, right? So you end up trying to do the same. You clean up your desk, you try to make it aesthetic. But that's what you end up doing instead of actually doing the work you need to do. It's productive procrastination because yes, it's productive. You're optimizing your work setup, right? You're optimizing your desk, you're cleaning it up to make it that it's comfortable for you to study in. But you never actually study on that system. You never actually study on that desk. At the end of the day, it's just procrastination. Productive procrastination is still procrastination. Remember what procrastination is. It's doing something instead of doing it's doing something else that is not what you need to actually do, right? Optimizing your study desk to help you study is still procrastination if you don't actually study, right? Now, I'm not saying you should leave your desk to be a shithole, to be messy. No. Of course it helps. But I'm saying that you should not get it mixed up with just obsessing over the 5S, the cleanliness of your desk that you actually never study. You forget the studying. It's actually better to it's actually better to on a super messy desk with everything on it, you still somehow study on that. If you still study on that, you do your work, you actually get something done, something finished on a desk that's super messy. That's actually 100,000 times better than cleaning up a desk for studying that you actually don't study on. And the reason why this is dangerous is that, see, when you're doom scrolling instead of studying, you know you're doing something bad. 100% you know that I should be studying for the exam I have, but I'm looking at cat videos on Instagram. I'm looking at brain rot. You know that. But when you're watching YouTube videos about how to have an aesthetic study setup, how to study effectively, how to plan your calendar for study sessions, you don't feel the same guilt, right? Because your brain's telling you, I'm not studying, but I'm actually looking up how to study better. I'm looking up how to optimize my study system. It's dangerous because you're basically fooling yourself. You're basically tricking yourself into thinking that this is productive. This is making progress toward your study goals, even though you know that what you need to do is to do the actual action of studying. The logic is anything that isn't actually studying, the action of studying, is procrastination, even though if it's optimization. I'm not saying, once again, I'm not saying you should never optimize and just study in the worst environment you have. But I'm just saying that you should not forget to actually do the damn thing you need to do, you know? You need to actually execute. You need to actually execute the thing you need to do. That's what I'm trying to say. If you have a machine that you keep optimizing, you keep cleaning it to ensure that you keep cleaning it, you keep lubricating the gears to ensure that the conveyor belt of the automatic system moves as smooth as possible. If you keep optimizing the PLC logic to ensure that there's like 5 fail safes instead of an emergency happening, right? If you design all of that perfectly, but still you don't actually use it to turn a product from a raw material to a finished product, it's the same thing as just not doing anything, right? If you have a factory that's clean, all the systems work perfectly, but they actually never do the actual work of turning a raw material into a finished product that you can sell, it's still zero production. It's zero productivity. You should do the same thing to your own life. Forget all of this optimization. Focus on actually doing the work. In my case, if you notice, I haven't posted in over 33 days. For me, looking up ideas, looking up the best way to find ideas, looking up ideas of shooting, the best camera angles, all of that is productive procrastination. You know what isn't? Sitting down here just in my outdoor terrace, just recording with a minimal setup. Yes, maybe if I can also implement all of the better camera angles to make all of this aesthetic, it's gonna look better. But still, it's more important that you execute on the thing that you need to do. In my case, it's actually recording this video and then editing it and uploading it to YouTube, where I haven't done so in 33 days. What do you think about this video? Do you agree? Do you notice that you have been doing lots of productive procrastination as of recently? Tell me in the comments and let's have a discussion. Thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Life Engineering. I'll see you in the next video.